So as all of you probably already know by now, on Thursday there was live streams with Modern Warfare gameplay. We got to see some of Gunfight, the new 2v2 mode, and in so we got to see a ton of the new weapons and equipment that are going to be in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Now on top of everything that we saw on Thursday, I also know a couple of other weapons that I saw at the reveal that I went to in May. So today what I wanted to do is break down all of the weapons that have been confirmed to be in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. These are not rumors, these are not guesses, these are the weapons that we know for sure are in the game. And I've seen a lot of speculation out there, a lot of news sources saying that these weapons are confirmed, but no. This list that you are looking at today is the confirmed weapons that we know of so far. So the first gun we are looking at here is called the FR556. Now, this is essentially the FAMAS that we've seen before in other Call of Duty games. Now, it is not the full automatic version of the FAMAS. It is the Infinity Ward version, which is the 3-round burst. Now, the thing to note about this is the FR556 is not the real name of the weapon in the real world. They probably did this for licensing reasons. But as far as this weapon goes, it's a 3-round burst. It looks relatively strong, kind of similar to what we saw before in Modern Warfare 2 with the FAMAS. After this, we have the RPG-7. This one is pretty straightforward. It is a RPG, it shoots rockets, and it kills people. And as far as this goes, this is the only launcher that we actually saw in the build. This is the only rocket launcher that I have personally seen as far as the game goes. So I don't know how many of these type of things there's going to be in the game. I don't know whether grenade launchers are going to be in the game, but as of right now, the RPG is the only one we know of. After this, we've got the MP5, and this one brings back some huge nostalgia to the original Modern Warfare. This is one of my favorite weapons in that game, and it looks really good in this game as well. It looks like a moderate fire rate, medium damage SMG, which is very, very similar to what we saw in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the original. After this, you have your M19 pistol. This is a pretty straightforward one. This is your run-of-the-mill pistol that you use as a secondary on most of your classes. From everything that I've seen, it appears to be a 3 to 4 bullet kill based off of range, which, again, for a 100 health Call of Duty game, is relatively average. After this, we've got our first sniper rifle called the AX50, and this one is a real-life sniper rifle. It's the latest version of the AW50. It is a bolt-action sniper rifle, and as far as this weapon goes, based off of all of the gameplay I've seen, I have only seen one-shot kills. Now, keep in mind, most of the shots I've seen have been from the belly button and up, but this is good for snipers, and it looks like a pretty good run-of-the-mill sniper rifle that's a bolt action, so looking forward to seeing more gameplay of this for sure. The next weapon we have is a shotgun called the 725, and this one is actually a real-world weapon called the Satori 725. It is made by Browning and is an under-over shotgun, which means 2 bullets are loaded into the gun. The most comparable weapon from previous Call of Duty games is probably the Olympia, but basically you have 2 shots, and based off of the gameplay we saw, this is a very, very powerful shotgun. Now after this, we have the M91, and the weird part about this is in real life, the M91 is a sniper rifle, not an LMG, but in this game it is an LMG, and it looks really good. It looks like a 3-bullet kill with medium recoil, which for an LMG in any Call of Duty game is pretty damn good. So after this, we once again have another shotgun. This one is called the Model 680, and as far as real life weapons, this is not a real life weapon. Comparing it to previous Call of Duty weapons, the most similar weapon I think we have is the W1200 from Call of Duty 4. Both pump-action semi-auto shotguns. After this, we have the MP7, a fan-favorite weapon that hasn't been in Call of Duty for a while, and as far as everything I've seen with this weapon, it looks godly. It's basically like a faster firing MP5 that we saw earlier, and it absolutely shreds people. It has a little bit more recoil because of that faster fire rate, but honestly, out of all of the weapons we look at today, I think this is the one I'm looking most forward to actually using in multiplayer. After this, we have the 50GS, which is essentially a 50 caliber pistol, aka the Desert Eagle. Now, this one has a really slow fire rate, but it is a 2-shot kill to the body and a 1-shot kill to the head. It is incredibly powerful, definitely one of the most powerful Desert Eagles we have ever seen in a Call of Duty game. So one weapon that I'm insanely excited to use more is the AUG. I did get to use this weapon while I was at Infinity Ward, and this thing shreds. It's a really fast firing assault rifle like the AUG has always been in Call of Duty games, and it's one that we really haven't got to use for quite some time in Call of Duty. It's a fan favorite and and one of my personal favorites. So like I said, I just can't wait to use this bad boy more. So after this, we have the M14, and we saw very minimal gameplay of this, and this is personally a weapon that I didn't get to use. So this one is a sniper rifle, and it has a ton of side-to-side recoil. Very hard to handle, and it also appears to be like a 2 to 3 bullet kill, which is pretty high for a sniper rifle in any Call of Duty game. So I don't think this is going to be one of the best weapons in the game, but yeah. And then finally, the last weapon we have to look at is the L86A2 LMG. Now, as far as this gun, no one actually shot it in the gameplay on Thursday, and I haven't got to use it. So based off of what this weapon is in real life, it's a fast-firing LMG. That's really all I can say about this weapon, because like I said, no one actually fired this thing in the gameplay on Thursday. So that's my best guess. So those are all of the weapons that we saw on Thursday. There are also 3 weapons that I remember from the reveal event in May that we saw in the single-player missions. The first of which is the AK-47. This is no surprise. This has been in pretty much every Call of Duty game there is in one shape or form, but it looked just like an AK-47, similar to what we saw in Modern Warfare 2. After that, we have the Scar H. Now, I didn't see any gameplay of the Scar H, but they showed us the weapons bench, the thing that you like kind of edit your weapons on. They didn't go into too much detail with that, but as far as that goes, we saw the Scar H. We know it's going to be in the game. And the final one is the 44 Magnum. Now, we saw a lot of pistols in the Thursday reveal. However, the 44 Magnum was not one of them. We saw a Desert Eagle, which was a one-shot kill to the head. I would assume a 44 Magnum is relatively similar to that kind of thing. So I look forward to seeing that weapon in there as well. So that is the list of all of the weapons that we have seen so far to be confirmed in Modern Warfare. Of course, when we get the reveal on August 1st, we're going to see even more weapons on top of that, and I hope it's a lot. I think that's one of the things that really makes Call of Duty interesting, is a lot of weapons. Now, speaking of a lot, one thing that we did get a ton of on Thursday was equipment, and a lot of people didn't notice a lot of the pieces of equipment, so I thought I would talk about all of those in this video as well. To start off, we have the stun grenade. So a stun grenade is pretty straightforward. You throw it and it stuns your enemy. There is also a flash grenade. Once again, very similar to a stun grenade. Based off of the gameplay, I really couldn't tell the difference. Generally speaking, when both are in a game, one of them lasts a little bit longer, but one of them stuns a little bit harder. So for example, for the flashbang, it would make your screen go completely white, where the stun, you'd see a little bit of things in front of you, but it would last longer. Based off of the gameplay, I could not tell the difference. After that, we have the Semtex. This one's pretty straightforward. It is a sticky grenade. You throw it, it sticks to a wall, it blows up. This has been in Call of Duty, I think, since Modern Warfare 2 was the first game it was implemented. After that, we have a Molotov cocktail. Now, the Molotov looked incredibly strong in this game. Basically, it looked like if someone got hit by it, they would die from it. It was very powerful. I don't know if it will stay like that in the final build of the game, but based off of what we saw in the gunfight stream, it was very, very good. On top of that, there is throwing knife. This is no surprise to anyone. Throwing knives have been in the game, once again, I think since Modern Warfare 2, and they looked very similar. Nothing really has changed as far as that goes. After this, the two that I am worried about are claymores and proximity mines. So proximity mines are like kind of like a round, flat thing that you place on the ground, and when someone walks by them, they blow up. Infinity Ward is notorious for putting things like this in their game. The thing that comes to my mind right away is Call of Duty Ghost. You had the IED. And the IED was... I could not stand it in Call of Duty Ghost, so I hope they don't make this super overpowered, or if it is, it's very easy to counter. Similarly, we also have the Claymore. The Claymore is pretty straightforward. You put it down on the ground, it sticks in, and it blows an explosion in one direction. The difference between a Claymore and a proximity mine, though, is the Claymore has two little lasers that you can pretty easily see, and that kind of like saves you from running into it. The proximity mine, from what I saw, there was no really warning that it was around a corner or on a wall, not even a noise that it makes. So that one has me a little bit more worried than the Claymore. And then finally, of course, like every Call of Duty game, we have a frag. Now, the cool thing about the frag in this game is when you cooked it, it showed you a little timer on screen, a little circular timer, and the longer you hold it, the more red it became. If it went all the way around in a circle, it would boom, blow up, and you kill yourself. And I thought that was a really cool addition to make it to time your frags a little bit easier. So then there is one more piece of equipment, the controversial piece of equipment, the one that everyone is talking about, the one that makes people say, man, manual healing is back, and that is stim. And I actually think the opposite because of this. I think regular healing is back, whereas manual healing is just going to be this piece of equipment. So what this is a stim shot, very similar to stim that we have in Black Ops 4. You stab yourself with it, and it brings yourself back up to 100 health. The reason why I think that this means that it's not manual healing is because if this is a piece of equipment, that would mean that normally you would just heal slowly over time, right? If it's a piece of equipment, it's not going to be a standard throughout everything. This is a very strong piece of equipment in gunfight because you don't heal in gunfight, but if you use the stim shot, you go back to 100 health. A very important piece of equipment. The other thing that I have to mention is, unlike Black Ops 4, you can only use the equipment once per life, which means you can't use stim over and over again to keep yourself at 100 health. So, those are all of the pieces of equipment that we saw. Ladies and gentlemen, those are all of the weapons and pieces of equipment that have been confirmed to be in this game so far. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, I'd really appreciate a like rating. It took forever to put all this information together, scour through all the different streams, make sure I had all the weapons. So if you could hit that like rating, I would really, really appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the channel, like what you see here and want to stay up to date on everything Call of Duty, Black Ops 4, Modern Warfare, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, make sure you have notifications turned on, and also let me know what weapons you would like to see come to Modern Warfare down in the comments below. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.